Strong, healthy hips are one of the most overlooked keys to staying out of pain. They help prevent hip pain, they protect your knees, they take pressure off your low back. In fact, your hips are the foundation of your entire core system. Strong hip muscles function as a critical link in the kinetic chain linking all the weight and forces from the upper body through the ground reaction forces of the lower body. If they're weak or stiff, everything above and below starts to compensate. Hello, I'm Dr. Jed, Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation. I've been practicing medicine for over 15 years, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the most effective exercises to keep your hips strong, mobile, and pain-free for years to come. Now, instead of just throwing random exercises at you, we're going to break this down the right way. We're going to train the hips based on how they actually function in their cardinal planes of action. Hip abduction, hip extension, hip flexion, and then we'll bring it all together. The focus of this video is for everyday people doing everyday activities. I specifically make these videos based on the needs of my patients I see in my clinic throughout each week. My patients range from 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and even beyond. Now, these exercises may not lead to big, bulky, defined quads or huge, big booty glutes. These exercises will help you improve function and reduce overall pain in the years to come. Let's dive right into the exercises. So, section 1, hip abduction. Hip abduction. This is the side of your hip. These muscles stabilize your pelvis when you walk, run, or stand on one leg. If they're weak, you'll often feel pain on the outside of your hip or even in the knees. We're going to build this up step by step. Level 1, clamshells. Start simple. To protect the glutes from overstretching, I recommend using a block or pillow between the knees. Keep your hips stacked, rotate from the hip, not the lower back. Add a resistance band if you can. Do 10 to 12 reps per side. As an alternate, a seated hip abduction exercise, you can use a band for added resistance or even just use your hands. Moving your body slightly will alter precisely where you feel this work. Experiment and find what's right for you. Level 2, some variants and first steps up from the clamshells. They include locked clams and the reverse clamshells. The setup for the lock clam is you lay on your side, the lower leg is nearly straight. You pull the knee of the top leg up towards your chest and lock your toes behind your knee or your upper leg. And then the hips lock forward. This increases control. Keep the movement small and controlled. Again, 8 to 10, 10 to 12 reps per side. An often overlooked variant of the clamshell is the reverse clamshell. In this variant, you keep the knees together. Again, use a pillow or a foam block between the knees to minimize overly stretching the gluteal muscles. And you keep the knees together and raise the foot only. This focuses on the internal rotators of the hip, improves multiplanar stability at the hip. Level 3, standing variants. Added work and focus to the gluteus medius, that critical hip stabilizer. Hip abduction and one of my favorites, the out and back 45s. For hip abduction, stand with support and gently raise your leg out to the side. It doesn't need to go very far, just far enough to feel the activation here at the top of your hip. When first beginning, I recommend a 2 to 3 second hold at the top to really activate and feel that gluteus medius muscle. Importantly, the standing leg is also working. That is working statically to support you, while this one is working dynamically to cause the movement. The out and back 45 is essentially the same. Now, however, instead of the foot going straight out to the side, not straight back, not straight behind you, it goes out and back at about a 45-degree angle. To really maximize activation of the glute medius, I like to turn the toe in slightly and drive with the heel. Add a band for resistance when you can. Do 8 to 10, 10 to 12 controlled reps each side. Progress is tolerated. Level 4, resistance bands with side-to-side shuffle. You can begin a little lower, simply doing a side-to-side shuffle with no resistance band. Add the resistance band to help cue you to drive those knees out and activate those gluteus medius muscles for added stability and training. Resistance bands come in various forms. Here's a picture of a few resistance bands with the classic style elastic at the top and fabric reinforced shorter resistance bands below. Both are arranged from left to right, easy to more resistance. Start low and progress as tolerated. Be careful not to overdo any progressions too quickly or you can hurt yourself. So the standing hip ABduction shuffle is done using a resistance band just above the knee. Squat down slightly, work to keep your knees apart. A first step would be to simply stand in this position. You could simply stand there for a count of 3 to 5. That is doing work. To take it up a level, while squatting down, take 1 to 2 steps to one side and then 1 to 2 steps the other. Begin by repeating this just 4 to 5 times back and forth. Careful not to overdo it. Progress with repetitions, resistance, level, and load as tolerated. Level 5. Side plank clams. Now this adds serious loads and demands to the hip muscles. In fact, studies demonstrate that this exercise provides maximal activation to the gluteus medius muscle. Lift into a side plank, then perform the clamshell. At first without any additional resistance, and then progress to a light resistance band once you are able. This is a challenging exercise. Start with a light band, start low, go slow. While the observable motion is on the top leg, the lower support leg is really getting the workout by supporting the body in this position. Training stability, 6 to 8, 8 to 10 reps per side, striving to maintain a solid core and a steady foundation while you do these exercises. Section 2, hip extension. The primary movers here are your glutes, specifically the gluteus maximus, the engines of your hips. If these aren't firing properly, your lower back picks up the slack, and that's where the pain starts. Level 1, standing hip extension. Simple and controlled. Hold on to something for support. Gently push one leg back. Focus on squeezing the glute, not arching your back. 10 to 12 reps per side. Start low and go slow. Level 2, the glute bridge. Use a band at the knees to help activate the glutes. Help cue proper knee position, out over your feet. Don't let the knees cave in. Laying on your back with a band around your knees, push through the heels, driving the full feet into the ground and pushing your hips up. Begin by lifting only a couple inches, eventually progressing to lifting your body up until it makes a straight line from hips through your legs, through your spine and shoulders. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds, 6 to 8 reps. To increase the challenge, progress to single leg variants. Level 3, mini squats. Begin with the hip hinge. Focus to help activate the glute muscles. I like using a resistance band around the knees. First, stand tall, activate the abs, abdominal bracing, maintain neutral spine, then hips back, down, up. Keep it small and controlled. Make sure the knees don't cave in. First, stand tall and activate the abs. Abdominal bracing. Maintain neutral spine, then hips back, down, up. Keep it small and controlled, making sure the knees don't cave in immediately. Pushing out over your feet, don't overly arch your low back. Don't round the back. Do 10 to 12 reps. Add weights once you're ready to increase the challenge level. Level 4, slow tempo squats with a band. Now we add time under tension. Using the same technique as mini squats, now with a pause at the bottom. The setup is the same as a squat. Hip hinge, hips back, hips down, hold, feeling the legs, the glutes, and the back muscles. This hold at the bottom for 6 to 8 seconds is where the magic happens. It's where you feel your muscles and where you feel your balance. Then you push back up and squeeze the glutes at the top. Repeat this several times. 6 to 8 will be a great place to start. Progress as tolerated. Begin with body weight. Progress by holding a small weight either close to your chest or hanging between your knees. 3 seconds down, pause, and then up. 8 to 10 reps. Level 5, kickstand squats. One leg does most of the work. An easier variant is the split squat that is detailed in other videos, but here we'll emphasize the kickstand squat as a relatively high intensity exercise for training the glutes. This is great for building strength and stability. One leg forward, the rear leg is barely touching the ground, acting like a kickstand. Sometimes I just make use of the tips of my toes to make sure the rear leg is barely working. Shift weight onto the front leg, hinging at the hip until you feel the glutes activate. Then slowly bend your knee, dropping down into a squat on the front leg only. Don't let the knee cave in immediately. Keep aligned out over your foot. Drop down 4 to 6 inches to start. More if you can maintain stability without the knee caving in. This is a very intense exercise. Not that I recommend the next levels to any of my patients, but the next level is the pistol squat. We'll save that one for later. With the kickstand squats, do 6 to 8 reps per side, increasing repetitions as your strength and control improve. Section 3, hip flexion. These are the muscles in the front of your hip. Most people think they're tight, but often they're actually weak and poorly controlled. They feel tight because your body acts to protect you from motions that you can't control well. So, level 1 is standing high-knee holds. Bring one knee up and hold. No resistance, just lifting the leg. Stay tall, don't lean back, don't lean forward. Hold on to something for support at first, progressing is tolerated. Hold for 10 to 20 seconds each side. Level 2, resisted high knee holds. Add a resistance band for load. Similar to the last, however, use a resistance band over the knee. Stand on the other end of the band and lift that leg up. Hold for 10 to 15 seconds on each side. This can be done more rapidly for a dynamic pump as well. However, I recommend starting with the slower holds until your body gets used to the load and can balance. Then progressing to dynamics once you can hold the high knee for 15 seconds without any problem. Section 4, bringing it all together. Now we integrate everything. This is where the real world movement happens, the airplane exercise. Steering the strength. This concept was popularized by Dr. Stuart McGill, sometimes called the godfather of the core exercises. So, balance on one leg. At first, use a support like holding onto a chair, a piece of furniture, or the kitchen sink. Progress to using a dowel. This gives less support and is more challenging. Hinge forward. Keep your body rigid and as stable as possible. Arms out to the side, then rotate your body open and closed with control. This trains strength and balance and coordination all at once. Eventually, progress to unassisted airplane, a very challenging exercise. Start with 5 slow reps per side. Wrap up. If you take anything from this video, it's this. Hip pain is rarely just a hip problem. It's usually a strength and control problem. When you train your hips in all directions, ABduction, extension, and flexion, sometimes have to add in ADduction as well, you build an entire system that protects your body. Start simple, stay consistent, and focus on control over intensity. Your hips, your back, and your knees will thank you. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.